Okay, people, we have pretty serious news coming out of Iran. It turns out that they have enough to make bomb-grade fuel for 10 weapons. They're still active in their nuclear program. They were supposed to back out down on. You need to watch a little bit of this video and we'll discuss it further.
What I'm about to say, the most important opening statement that I've ever given on Fox or probably anywhere else, and I've been doing this a long time. And there's no question there will be a cabal out there for which what I say will be viewed as terrible. And I will come under withering attack. There's nothing new about that. But I've always felt that whether it's here or on radio or elsewhere, that my relationship is with you. Not the think tanks, not the Washington insiders, not the reprobates and others who have access to a keyboard and a computer. This is very important, what's taking place now. This is a headline in the New York Times. Iran has ramped up uranium enrichment while continuing nuclear talks. Tehran now has the capacity to produce bomb-grade fuel for roughly 10 weapons, according to a confidential UN report. So for all intents and purposes, Iran now has a nuclear weapon. We've been negotiating for, 5 weeks? We had the Obama deal. We had the Biden deal. We gave them $100 billion under the last administration, which, of course, they used to build up their nuclear program. We've been warned about this. We've been warned about it from the Prime Minister of Israel. We've been warned about it from me over and over again. And now we're here. We're at the precipice. And the article goes on. Iran has roughly doubled its stockpile of nuclear bomb-grade uranium over the past 3 months, even while negotiating with the Trump administration over a deal to limit its nuclear program. According to a confidential report about the United Nations Nuclear Inspection Agency, has begun circulating to capitals around the world. Now, the UN isn't exactly pro-American or pro-Israel, but they are very, very concerned about what they're seeing, and they should be.
Okay, people, thank you for clicking me on. Let's just get to the story. Iran has reached bomb-grade fuel for 10 weapons. That is not good for the United States. That is not good for anyone in the planet. Iran is a very bad regime. They've been causing a lot of problems in the Middle East there with Israel and getting Hamas, paying Hamas, giving Hamas weapons. And now they have capabilities for some nuclear weapons. They do not need a missile or the whole world is going to be in trouble. Let's get into this video. We'll break it down a little bit better afterwards, but let's check this video out together. I'm very interested.
But they are very, very concerned about what they're seeing, and they should be. The increase gives Tehran the capacity to produce bomb-grade fuel for roughly 10 weapons, up from around 5 or 6 when President Trump was inaugurated in January. But the surge also puts new pressure on Washington in its negotiations, in which it is demanding that Iran cease all production of nuclear material. Now, the Director General of the IAEA, that is the unit within the UN, is responsible for this. His name is Rafael Grossi. Now, Grossi wrote that the significantly increased production and accumulation of highly enriched uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to produce such nuclear material, is of serious concern. You don't need this material for domestic energy consumption. Then we have this from Fox News. Explosive new intelligence report reveals Iran's nuclear weapons program is still active. A new intelligence report claims Iran is continuing with its active nuclear weapons program, which it says can be used to launch missiles over long distance. The startling intelligence gathering of Austrian officials contradicts the assessment of the U.S. Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard told a Senate Intelligence Committee in March that the American intelligence community, quote, continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon and the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003. Well, apparently she's dead wrong. Austria's version of the FBI, the Directorate of State Protection and Intelligence Service, wrote Monday in an intelligence report, quote, in order to assert and enforce its regional political power ambitions, the Islamic Republic of Iran is striving for comprehensive rearmament with nuclear weapons to make the regime immune to attack and to expand and consolidate its dominance in the Middle East and beyond. The Austrian Domestic Intelligence Agency reported the Iranian nuclear weapons development program is well advanced, and Iran possesses a growing arsenal of ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear warheads over long distances, like to the United States.
Pretty scary. It's pretty scary. When Biden, I don't remember if everybody remembers back then, when Biden became president, I don't know if he won it or not, whatever, he released that $100 billion to Iran, lift all the sanctions, gave them that money. And that's when a lot of the problems really, really hit hard in the Middle East. He started doing proxy wars through Hamas. He was funding money, weapons against Israel. And now, secretly, they've been working on their nuclear arms program. People, if they ever have the capabilities to launch, this world is devastated. These people don't care about anything. Human life means absolutely nothing to them. They are very, very deranged country. Very deranged. So let's get into this video a little bit more. And please like, subscribe, and share if you can. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you for that. And let's get more into the video.
The Middle East is filled with terrorists and terrorist regimes. Americans do not like Iran and the regime that runs it. They're terrorists. They keep threatening to destroy us and our friends, the Israelis. They're trying to get nuclear weapons and put them on intercontinental ballistic missiles. We reject it. I speak for tens of millions of red-blooded Americans. I speak for Christians and Jews and others alike. This is the view of the American people. That's number one. Americans hate Hamas. We hate terrorists, butchers, Nazis. We hate men that kill babies, that decapitate babies, that rape women and burn people alive, and attack young teenagers at festivals. Except the ceasefire with Qatar-funded Hamas, so Hamas, you see, can rebuild and strike Israel again. That's not going to happen.
Just not a very good. Not good at all. Oh, I would like to talk about a little bit what got us into this situation to begin with. When Biden released that $100 billion or plus to Iran and dropped all these sanctions, Trump had, when he was president, sanctions on Iran. They were broke, completely just broke. They weren't, any oil was leaving that country, you know, a little bit here and there that they were selling on the black market, but nothing like they're doing. When Biden took office, they went from almost nothing to 3.8 million barrels a day. That's a lot of money, people, a whole lot of money. And that is how they started doing all the proxies, like I said, and then this nuclear weapons program, that takes money, and that's how they got their money, because they were bankrupt. They were done. They were completely done. And so hopefully something is done to stop this. And if you check down the comments below, let me know what you think we should do, what our country should do to try to stop this before it does get to a point where they have ballistic missiles with nukes on them shooting at our country. Let's dig into this video a little bit more.
My first guest is going to be Zuhdi Jasser. We don't seem to understand the mindset of the Islamist terrorist Nazis. I don't know why. It's available. They publish it. They say it day in and day out. They've written books about it. I don't know why the media in America doesn't dig into those books and explain what we're up against, but I have, and I've explained it. It's a totally different ideology. Now, I said here about a month ago, even with communists and fascists, mutual assured destruction means something. But with Islamist Nazi terrorists, it means nothing. Nothing. They're willing to kill themselves for a greater cause. And in fact, as long as the West exists, whether it's the Jews in Israel or the Christians in the Middle East, or the entire West, Christian majority, America or Europe, as long as we exist, and that includes Muslims who don't buy in to the terrorist ideology, as long as they exist, well, then they can never go to heaven. They can never achieve what God wants them to achieve. And so they're not going to stop. They're not going to allow a piece of paper to stop them. And they are suicidal. It is a death cult. Mutual assured destruction doesn't work. This would be the first regime, a terrorist, Islamist, fundamentalist regime with a nuclear weapon. Now, is this what we want to see on our watch?
Okay, people, yes, we probably should be very concerned. It is, to a point, it's either A, Trump is going to have to make a decision. Me, personally, I'm all for bombing Iran back to the Stone Age. Because when they have the capabilities, and God forbid, if they ever have the capabilities to launch nuclear weapons on, or nuclear bombs on a missile, a ballistic missile, they will do it. There is no doubt they will do it. There's a lot of terrorist activity going here in the United States. From our borders being open, there has been a lot of terrorists come through here. We're starting to see it on the streets. We had that gentleman in Egypt, not gentleman, that just killed all those Israel supporters. They talk about how Trump is Hitler, but people, we need to take a look at what is really going on here. With Iran, with the nukes, there's nobody to blame but Biden for that. Trump put the sanctions on them for a reason. That was to keep them from getting the capabilities of a nuclear weapon. And like I said, put in the comment section what you think that the United States should do about this Iranian situation. Me personally, like I said, I think we need to bomb them right back to the Stone Age. We have the most powerful military in the world, and I think it's time, because they are negotiating supposedly, but meanwhile, while they're negotiating, they're in the back room making the nukes. I mean, it's to a point where we're running out of time. And I just think something needs to be done, and I think it needs to be done right away. I want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, like and share. I'd really appreciate it. And see you guys tomorrow.